Geminis, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for November 21st to the 27th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this channel is about using the actual constellations in the sky known as Sidereal Astrology. If you are new, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different, which means your sign might be different, and you'll want to watch this for the right sign. All right, so Geminis, this week, another eventful week. It has been the past couple months. And this one is about, I think, a bit of coming into the week with initiation. And I think initiating some things that maybe came to your awareness about a week ago. So maybe that was in a time of maybe seeing some things that you can implement. And so this is still an excellent week to implement those things. Now, as we go through the week, we're going to be in the balsamic phase, which is the lowering of energy time. Good time to be reflective and internal and reflect on things. And that's going to set the stage for the next set of new beginnings. So it is this coming into the week with initiation, I think is great, taking steps. And then as things unfold, a bit of this more receptive energy. So let's go ahead and look at the aspects because there are quite a bit of aspects this week. Right off the beginning on Monday, the sun does shift into your 6th house, really putting more emphasis here on your routine and your day-to-day work life. Okay, so this is a great source of energy. First of all, the sun is the prana, it's the life force, and maybe expressing yourself or just focusing on things there to improve yourself, such as through your health, your diet, your regimens, but also your work, developing your craft. And there's a good mental energy. It's already been emphasized, your ruler here. But now the sun shifting in there can give you perhaps a bit more mental energy. The sun does rule your 3rd and help you see things in that practical way and take care of business or whatever that 3rd house stuff is. Now, the other side to this is that Mercury, your ruler, is going to be sextiling up to Jupiter on Tuesday. So yeah, maybe you guys are feeling a bit open-minded. Maybe there's some new opportunities. Maybe you're just feeling good. And inspired, and this could have to do with the home stuff or family, maybe, or health, but anything in your personal life, your roots. And this has been an excellent time. There should be plenty of luck or opportunity here in your 4th house having to do with these roots, and you could find that maybe easy going these first, let's say, few days of the week. Then as we get into Wednesday, your ruler does conjoin up to Saturn, which does emphasize a new chapter for you in terms of discipline and patience. And again, I think this is about really taking seriously your self-improvement because Saturn's been in your 6th house over this past year and a half. So now a new chapter with this in a yearly sense of you taking the long road and the patient road with personal growth, personal development, maybe doing some things that do require a bit of discipline. And so again, it could be the health, it could be the diet, those types of things, but it could also be your work, all right? Patience here, seeing the long road. Things do take time, and wherever Saturn is, that's certainly what's being emphasized is the amount of time that it takes. But do know that Saturn does pay off where there is hard work, where there is patience, and putting things forward. Now, Mercury does rule your 4th house too, so it could be something new here about patience with the home life, personal life, and that type, in the health, which is about connecting to your body. So the more willing you are to take this stuff seriously, be patient with it, you can certainly be building this stuff for the long term. All right, so that's that conjunction. On Thursday, we do have Jupiter squaring up to Pluto, which is a very collectively significant aspect. So basically be all week long, but it's going to go exact on Thursday. So this is about, yes, those opportunities and potentials with your roots and your foundations in life, but maybe needing to make some changes here. And I think changes maybe with relationships or your perspective on relationships. Or maybe it's your perspective of the past and your roots and where you come from and your personal life. And how to really bridge the gap, I think, between the personal life and your relationship life. The more emotional, sentimental life, interconnectivity there with your everyday experiences. And to do this, though, it does require facing fears and it does require breaking some patterns. All right, once we become aware of the fears, we accept them, then the next step is to make the changes that those fears have been preventing us from making. Okay, so this is a lot of it having to do with relationships, and there's been a lot of changes over the past many years with relationships for you, having to do with stripping away these past patterns, these past fears and inhibitions, or wanting to control, situations or whatever. There's just a lot of this fear, which is really the fundamental to all these intense or deeper things that have taken place over the years with relationships. But it's the type of aspect here where you can certainly have the wisdom, you can see the awareness, and there might even be a bit of inspiration to make some changes here. And as you do that, make the changes with that perspective on relationships, then you are transforming and your relationships are transforming. And I think that's what is coming as a result of this. Okay, but know that, Jupiter squares, it might come across as quite easy, but, or inspiring, or you might be over optimistic about it or not optimistic about it, but that's kind of missing the point if it feels a bit more buoyant. The point is that this is supposed to be deep change, and it's deep change so that you can have greater opportunity with relationships, greater opportunities with your personal life, and also with your roots and foundations, okay, your location, home, whatever that might be. All right, so the more willing you are to dive deep, I think the more in alignment you are with this square, and again, it can be very constructive with that intention. All right, so that's Thursday, and then Friday, Venus does go over Pluto, so there is some things transforming and changing with the fact that, yes, it's supposed to be light, it's supposed to be enjoyable. Venus is helping you see the connections and value of relationships or of the relationships that you have in your life. And so connecting there can be great. And I think there's, again, transformation with that. This might be about you expressing yourself more in relationships, or there's just a bit more of a lighter, playful side to it. Venus rules your fifth, and also a bit more of an easygoing side to relationships, which is also transforming and changing. And you've probably already been noticing this. So acceptance, right? Living being in the present moment and accepting things, and that can be very easygoing. It can be flowing. It can be unconditional, right? It can be accepting about relationships, about people, others, that kind of thing as well. So all that is transforming. It's a big week in that regard with this kind of configuration. And like I said, I think it's a result in positive changes both in the personal life and your roots, as well as those one-to-one connections. And this is all partnerships, by the way. Could be, for some of you specifically, a partnership like business or marriage. Others, it could just be your perspective on relationships or family relationships or friends. It really just depends. But it's that kind of one-to-one connection there. And it could even be legal matters, I do want to say. So fill in the blank with that if you have legal stuff going on. All right, so that's that conjunction. Then as we go into the weekend, Mercury then trines up to Uranus. So again, your ruler, a lot of aspects this week. In this case, over the weekend, you could be feeling quite free or free-spirited, or maybe something new is changing with your career. Maybe you're feeling more progressive or innovative there, or maybe feel like making some changes so your career is more in alignment with what you're truly about. And that's been a very important emphasis over the past many years with Uranus in that 10th. And again, Uranus aspecting the 6th does suggest that maybe there's some of this stuff that you are developing with your self-improvement, with your health, with your work, that could be directly contributing to what may be this new inspiration or new ideas with the career side of things. Okay, and it could also be something new and different with the home and family stuff, and that type of health, your body, connecting to your body, that type of health as well. Now, there might be some healing needing to take place in order to, let's say, cultivate this. And this is okay. This is the rejuvenation. Square up to Chiron does suggest that this weekend, it's an excellent weekend to do some healing of some wounds. And it might be about what's possible. It might be about the productive life. But as you do that, again, acceptance and inner healing, you'll find this very refreshing, very rejuvenating. In fact, that's how I feel that the energy is going to play out. Because no matter what, Chiron is going to heal you. And with this trine up to Uranus afterwards, I think you could be seeing that, yes, where there is inspiration, where there is innovation, where there is change, there is also transformation and healing. All right, so Gemini, that's the week in a nutshell. The way I would sum this up is that your ruler and a lot of this concentration on your 6th house, a really good time for getting the time management, energy management, the routine, and developing that work of yours, whatever it is you do on a daily level there. And there's a lot of energy to be gained with that. There's a lot of mental, practical stuff to be gained, or communication or exchanging to be done in that sector. And a lot of... just a lot of discipline too with this conjunction with Saturn, taking things nice and slow, realizing that this is a long-term thing we're talking about here, and a new chapter though in many ways. And there's of course changes happening with relationships. So I think the more you are being, stripping away those layers, this is layers within you, facing some fears, accepting some things, or just making some changes, breaking some patterns that have been recurring or that are subconscious. It's very deep with Pluto, involving relationships that might be preventing you from making the change that you want to make, that you can enjoy with Venus. And then this is all so that you can continue to cultivate what is this foundation for you right now, which is your location or your home or your family or your health. These are two very different things, relationships and the personal. It can be personal, it can be bridged, it can be implemented. And that's exactly how you want to work with this. How can you bring in this more protective, this more, this is it's like Cancer. It's like we want to protect ourselves. It's more personal. What's the word I'm looking for? Private. This is the more private life. But implementing that into those relationships and vice versa, maybe bringing in some relationships into your private life as well. All right, so Geminis, have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.